Good afternoon. My name's Hannah Dalmat. I'm the Senior Director of Partnership Development here at Concordia, and I'm thrilled to be speaking with David Rachelson, Chief Sustainability Officer of Rubicon. Rubicon is a software company that provides full-service waste management, recycling, and smart city technology solutions, and they've recently joined Concordia as our sustainability partner. We're thrilled to be talking with David a little bit more about what sustainability and partnerships look like for Rubicon, and to lay the groundwork for our exciting conversation at the annual summit this fall. David, welcome.
Thank you so much, Hannah. We are thrilled to be at this forum, participating with Concordia, advancing its vital mission in the public-private realm and the intersection of those two areas. So thank you for this opportunity.
Great, and we have so much to learn from you. One of the ways that you communicate what you do is through your ESG and transparency reporting. You recently launched a report. How was that addressed and adopted by the community? And tell us a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. We released in 2020 our inaugural ESG report, and we really attempted to lay and outline what we call the waste wake-up call. And that really is something that I think is more and more known in the world, the massive challenge of waste generation and this linear economy, which is where you take a natural resource, you make something, and then you simply throw it away. But what we did in our report was to really describe the massive amounts of waste that are generated, the environmental degradation and problems that it's causing, and what we at Rubicon are doing to really change the business model around how waste is thought of and treated, and the technology that we use that's the foundation of the work we do to really make this transition from the linear economy to the circular economy, where we no longer take something from the earth to make a new product. We simply create new products and supply the inputs to supply chains through the items that already exist in the world today.
That's great. And I love the waste wake-up call because it's something that most people don't think about or don't want to think about, but we need
That's
to
right.
think about, right?
Absolutely.
So in thinking about that linear economy, it's not only increasingly problematic from a sustainability side, but also from a pricing volatility. And when you're thinking about companies that rely on extractives or inputs, and just the challenges that are rife with a decreasing supply side, that circular economy makes sense for everyone. So how is Rubicon helping customers understand and adapt to a circular economy thinking?
Absolutely. In many ways, Rubicon is where this great ambition and aspiration of the circular economy meets the road. So on our private sector business, the commercial side, we work with businesses that have countless challenges every day. Many of them are not related to the environment. They are in rural locations, they are in urban locations, they're dealing with customer issues and the pandemic and a lot of other issues. And so what we do first and foremost is we really help them help understand the operations of these businesses, what's in the waste streams. We do audits. Before I joined Rubicon, I only thought of audits in a financial sense, but it's actually very important to our business, where we look and dumpster dive and sort the materials. And then we look for opportunities in the waste streams. And we set up a program that not only is environmentally friendly, but also meets the other demands of these businesses. And it's all built around this concept that the landfill should be the last option, that there's value in materials, and that we just simply need to find the outlets for them that are the most sustainable. And so ultimately, we look at the quote unquote waste of our customers as valuable resources and inputs for someone else's supply chain, for a recycling facility to put back into use, and really focus on how do we make that happen. And over time, we transition our businesses from ones that are really built around the landfill model to one that are more circular and sustainable.
Sounds great, and definitely a role for big data there. I'd love to hear about any treasures you might have found in those dumpster dive expeditions, but perhaps that's for another time.
Yeah, well, just recently, actually, there was a child who was at a Walmart and accidentally threw away their teddy bear, and we worked with our hauler to recover that item for that person. So that's just one example, but you're right. There are countless other treasures in the waste, and big data is absolutely a part of it. There are millions and millions of tons of materials that are disposed of every day, and really it is a challenge for the industry to understand the quantity of the materials, what's actually they comprise of, and then how do you aggregate them and create the scale that really drives the change that we need to happen and the transition to the circular economy.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that scale does rely not just on the industry taking leadership roles, but also on the public sector. So in thinking through the 2030 agenda, I'd love to hear what you would recommend or call for both the industry or the public sector to take into account, and where would you like to see change if you could wave a magic wand?
Absolutely. I think one of the most needed changes right now is for infrastructure globally, really, to catch up with the aspiration and the targets of businesses, governments, and consumers. There is no question that the world fundamentally believes that burying materials is not the right solution. That is essentially a foregone conclusion. However, we still do that in many cases because we have not yet created the scale and the scope of infrastructure to process these billions of tons globally in another way. And that's changing. Mm-hmm. And the really other benefit of that, apart from the environmental benefit, is it's an enormous job creation opportunity. And that's why it's called the circular economy. There is enormous economic benefits to this transition to a circular economy, the innovation, the technology, the infrastructure that needs to be created. And so ultimately, if we can create this circular economy, the environment will benefit, jobs will benefit, and it will be a more sustainable way of operating our business and our world.
Sounds like there's a lot of wins that can happen through that type
Absolutely.
of investment.
Absolutely, and we are very excited. Myself, our CEO Nate Morris, our Chief Strategy Officer Michael Allegretti, to dive more into this dialogue and really leverage the Concordia platform to catapult some of these necessary collaborations at the public and private intersection, and I'm very excited to see what comes out of it.
Absolutely. I think the Concordia Annual Summit coming up next month in September will be the right place to be having those conversations. We'll be joined by world leaders, financial institutions, private individuals, and leading companies like Rubicon to think through how we actually make this work in the most equitable, efficient, and swift way possible. So David, thank you so much for your leadership.
Absolutely.
For joining us with Concordia and helping us think through how to drive forward a sustainability initiative and conversation. And we can't wait to see you this September. So thank you.
I look forward to being there and participating. Thank you again, Hannah.
Great. Stay safe and wash your hands. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Likewise.